guys, I just got out of the shower and I'm gonna do a get ready with me while I talk about I don't even know what. And if you hear a really loud noise in the background, it's because my sister just decided to get in the shower right as I pressed record on this right this second. Bear with me. I need to put my hair back. So naturally I'm going to use my JoJo bow. So the first thing we're gonna do is get this wet because I forgot. I love being a professional. I have returned. Let's talk about VidCon. So I've been to VidCon 2 years in a row now, and both times it was an experience. Like, as far as the actual convention, I think last year was better. All of the things that they had there this year were kind of like boring. Last year we went home with like bags and bags of free stuff, and this year they only had like booths of things that you could buy for really expensive, and like I don't have money. And I honestly think that's a little bit ridiculous considering VidCon is already like $150 just to get in, but you didn't hear it from me. So I'm going to cover my face in concealer right now because I want to, but you don't need makeup to be beautiful. So something I did at VidCon that I don't think I ever expected to do in my life was set off a fire hydrant. Where do I even start? So we were all sitting at IHOP on the patio. It was the first day and we were just like all so happy to be there, and we were literally all sobbing our eyes out because of how happy we were. And we were like, oh my god, I love you guys. Everybody in IHOP is watching us through the window, and after we left IHOP, we were all walking down the sidewalk singing Break the Distance, and a fire hydrant went off. YOLO! I honestly still don't even know what happened, but basically, as we're like running around singing this song, the fire hydrant just goes off, soaking the people who were walking near it, and half of our dumbasses decide to start running down the street. I don't even know what we were thinking, but somebody just yelled, run! Most of us start running down the street, then like halfway, half of us realize, wait, why are we running? Then some people turned around and like went and told the IHOP employees like, hey, your fire hydrant just went off, because that's the smart thing to do, but we weren't very smart. I mean, I don't know how much intelligence you can expect from people who literally set off a fire hydrant outside of IHOP. We're walking down the street back to our hotels, and there's a helicopter in the air right above our heads just circling us, like our group of people, and we literally thought we were about to like get arrested on the other side of the country. So not the brightest children, but that's why we're all friends. Fun memories. And then after we set off a fire hydrant, we ran into baby Ariel down the street from IHOP, and she was like, why are you guys all soaking wet? And we were like, oh, we just set off a fire hydrant. That was quite the experience. So now that I look like a ghost, more so than I already did before, I'm gonna make myself look a little bit less like a ghost. Let's see, what else happened at VidCon? Let's talk about JoJo. A lot of you already know this, but TanaCon was going on at that time. And so we were just being obnoxious, and every time we saw someone with blonde hair, we would scream, Tana! And anytime we saw somebody with a bow, we would scream, JoJo! I wish I had like a reason or like some way to justify this, but I don't at all. We were all just like literally being the most obnoxious children. And so we were going for dinner one night. We're walking into a restaurant. We told them that we had like 16 people or something obnoxious, and they were like, yeah, you're gonna be waiting for like 2 hours. We were like, okay, let's leave. And so we walk outside and we see like a bus, like shuttle thing pull up in front of this restaurant. All we could see in the bus was like people's heads, and we saw a bow like sitting in the back, and we all screamed, JoJo! She stands up in the back of the bus, and lo and behold, it is actually JoJo Siwa standing in this bus. Also, forgot to mention, we were all wearing JoJo bows, and we had been to her concert that night or the night before, and we were all wearing our bows and screaming her name and being a little bit obnoxious, and we had met her at a meet and greet a couple nights before. She looks out the window of her bus thing and she sees our group of people and recognized us as the obnoxious group of girls who had been screaming her name the entire week. But she was really nice. I met her twice at VidCon, and she's really nice. She's really smart too. I think a lot of people like underestimate that, and she knows what she's doing clearly because her name is on literally everything everywhere you go. So if I were a small child, I can promise you JoJo would definitely be like my idol. I mean, like, not that she's not right now, but another VidCon story. We were at the Escape the Night panel because Miss Colleen Ballinger was in Escape the Night. We're all sitting in the front, like 2 rows, I think, and this is in like a crowd of like maybe 1,000 something seats with like hundreds and hundreds more people sitting on the floor around the seats because there weren't enough seats for everybody. So there are like thousands of people sitting in this audience. My friends and I are all in the front row, and an airdrop thing pops up on the screen as they're premiering the episode, and we're all like, oh my god, like who airdropped that? And then we look at it, it's a picture of Colleen in front of thousands of people, and we're all laughing. And then I look over and my friend Bree is cackling, like literally dying, because she airdropped a picture of Colleen accidentally onto the MacBook that was playing that episode of Escape the Night. So vidcon story number, I don't even know it. But we got to the convention center really early in the morning. It was like, I don't know, but it was extremely early in the morning because we wanted to be in the front for a panel. And we're sitting in the front of the convention center, like where they like scan your little bracelet thingies. And they start forming another line at the other entrance on the other side of the convention center. I think we were supposed to be let in at 9. Anyway, it was 9, and they start letting people in on the other side at the other entrance who got there like hours after us. And we're like, hey, like they're letting people in there, like can we go in? And this guy's like, no. We were like, and so we're sitting there in this line as people start going into the expo hall, even though we had been waiting for hours. And they were like, yeah, we don't care, like you're not going in. Vanessa had like an industry pass which gets you in earlier, and so Vanessa's like, well, can I go in? And they're like, if you're industry, sure, go in. So she goes in, runs to the panel, makes friends with the security guards, and ended up saving like 2 rows of seats for all of us. What's something else we did? Last year we went to Build-A-Bear and we made minions because that's what teenagers always do. And we ended up making friends with the taxidermist man there. The guy who stuffs the animals at Build-A-Bear. We made friends with him. We all followed him on Instagram. We became like internet besties. And his name was Miguel. And we have been following him on Instagram for like the past year. So he still like keeps up with all of us. And we went to Build-A-Bear in downtown Disney again, hoping to see him there. And it was closed. They shut down the Build-A-Bear in downtown Disney like forever. And I was so upset. We were literally all like devastated. And so we took a picture in front of it and sent it to Miguel. We were like, what the even, like, and he was like, oh yeah, we closed in January. It was the saddest thing I've ever experienced in my entire life because I wanted to go back to Build-A-Bear so bad just to see our Build-A-Bear California friend. It was so upsetting, like honestly. Instead of making Build-A-Bears, we made matching friendship bracelets in downtown Disney because Build-A-Bear was no longer an option. Swell. So this was a really boring video, but I literally couldn't think of like any fun stories. But bear with me while I try to do something with this channel because it's kind of just sitting here like rotting while I post nothing on it. But I hope you enjoyed this somewhat, maybe. Bye!